There will be options. That's the message from Italian attorney Nick Metta in today's interview, which is part three of my three-part interview with him. He'll explain what he means when he says there will be hope, and he'll dive deeper into the options for challenging this decree in court, as well as the grounds for doing so. As with parts one and two, this is going to be full of very useful and timely information. We hope you enjoy it, and here's the interview. And Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy guy and there's a lot swirling around with this decree. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tony. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
The hot topic right now is just understanding what the decree does for eligibility. As written, it sounds like it's just enough that a parent or grandparent was born in Italy. The question is, will they continue to need that maintenance of Italian citizenship that we've had in the past, where the parent needed to maintain their Italian citizenship until their child was born, or as the October circular did, extend that out to having the parent maintain their Italian citizenship all the way through until that child reached adulthood? How do you think it's actually going to be implemented? Do you have thoughts or insight into that?
And obviously, interpretation, that's the beauty of the law. You can have an opinion, someone else has a different opinion, and even with judges. And in the Italian legal system, it is even more open to alternative interpretations because it's a civil law system. So there's now judges are not bound to the president like they are in a common law system. However, my interpretation of the law decree is not that they are canceling the previous restrictions, like the minor rule, for example, because the article that they are adding to the previous legislation says this article derogates to the following articles, but doesn't say abrogates. Doesn't abrogates. So derogating means that in addition to what already existed, including the minor rule, you need to make sure that your Italian grandparent or Italian parent need to be born in Italy, or your parent needs to have been an Italian resident for these 2 years. However, in my opinion, when a law says derogates, it is that it is adding a requirement, not replacing what the other piece of legislation said. Because the minor rule, for example, still exists. It's not being canceled. It's not being removed. It is there. And so that's why, in my opinion, it is an additional requirement to that scenario, that kind of case where you have to check if your ancestor was a minor at the time of the naturalization and so forth. So basically what they are saying is if the parent of that minor does not meet the requirements set up by this rule, there is not even minor, like it is not even a case. It is just an additional layer.
Do you think there will be a need for 1948 cases moving forward based on this decree, or do you think this new law is going to sort of eliminate the need for a 1948 case?
They could have taken the opportunity to specify that, but I don't see in any part of this law decree a direct or indirect abrogation of the 1948 legislation, essentially. It's obviously my professional opinion. I can imagine how other people might feel different about some of these things. I've read that some people say, well, there is not going to be a 1948 case anymore, a minor case. But the law says in derogation, doesn't say those rules are abrogated, doesn't say this abrogates, those rules. It doesn't say it replaces those rules. So in my opinion, it just adds a layer to those rules. But basically what they are saying is 1948 cases that have been filed without these two requirements being in place are good. The next 1948 cases have to have these two requirements in place, meaning birth of grandparent or parent in Italy or residence in Italy of parent for 2 years.
That's a great point. I'm wondering if they know, the lawmakers. I mean, they may not have thought into it that deeply, but I'm wondering if they know that they're essentially opening themselves up for a lawsuit and almost sort of saying, okay, we've got to put a measure in place to kind of slow this down. There are too many people. There's over 10% of the population of Italy is outside of Italy. They have voting rights. They can impact the vote without the consequences that come with that vote. So we have to do something about this. So we'll put this measure into place, but we know that people are going to challenge this. There is a degree of inequality that's being created. There's classes being created here. People who are born in Italy are of a different class than those born outside of Italy under
Yeah.
this decree, and there's certainly challenges to be made there.
My opinion is that what they're going to do is, okay, we have the law decree is very extreme. So let's negotiate. Let's make a deal. Policy is always about a deal. So, okay, so you're saying that it is unfair, class A, class B, fine. Let's make everyone same class. Let's give people 6 months, a year, 2 years. What do you want? But we need to stop this. And we have, if they gave people a year or two, I wouldn't see any way people could challenge that in court, because that has been done in the past. I wouldn't see any inequality. You can exercise your right. You have the law is there. It happened in the past and nobody challenged it because there was nothing to challenge. And they want to put a limit, but they need to do it in a way that everyone has the same opportunity. That is what it is about. As long as they give everyone the same opportunity to file, to be recognized within a certain time, people either go for it or lose it forever.
And then they eliminate the need for all those court cases and all those challenges that way.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but that would backfire in the other sense, because everyone who will rush would overwhelm once again consulates and comune. And you know what happens if consulates don't take appointments? Screenshot the consulate, screenshot the emails, and file application in court, because Italy is not giving you the opportunity. Then you go to a judge, say, Judge, look, I tried. I couldn't make an appointment. The deadline is approaching. It would be a little bit of an adjustment, and then that will be it.
Not giving a time limit causes court cases because there will be grounds to challenge the inequality, and setting that time limit, it could, if they don't do it right, could create court cases because for the same reasons these what has been dubbed the against the queue cases cropped up because the consulates were taking so long.
Exactly that. You nailed it. It is exactly that way.
Thank you for your interpretation of that. There's been a lot of debate on these topics swirling around. And, of course, everyone is very hopeful that, especially the minor issue, eliminated a lot of people from eligibility in the last
Yeah.
6 months. And so a lot of people, of course, are hoping that the minor issue will go away. I don't know that it's as big an impact if the 1948 case element sticks around. But what do you think are the chief grounds that people will have to fight this decree and subsequent ruling when they do go to court?
So, in my opinion, it's a matter of equality, and meaning a discrimination between people who were born at the same time with the same rights, and essentially people have been stripped of their right without an option to exercise it all of a sudden, also retroactively, because when the decree went into force, it had already established that deadline that was essentially retroactive already. That would be unconstitutional, in my opinion, because of that inequality. Then there are so many other things. Lawyers are very creative when it gets to throwing the paint everywhere it sticks. So there will be the grounds of lack of urgency for the law decree itself, lack of options for consulates who have not been able to take in people who were waiting and were on super long waiting lists. There are many arguments that might be brought up. We prefer to let it settle and then move forward once we know definitely what the rules are going to be.
That's really helpful to understand those different avenues. So, Nick, I want to be conscious of your time. Do you have anything you want to say in closing?
I would like to tell people to take it easy. Let's continue to monitor what's happening in the Italian parliament. There are Italian representatives and senators who are advocating for people who were working on their Italian citizenship and people who are of Italian descent. I feel that there are going to be options at this point, I think that the best thing that someone can do is move forward with collecting the paperwork and invest, a reasonable amount of time and money, perhaps, to continue to collect your documents, because people who will have documents in order sooner might stand a better chance to go through. I think that time is going to be of the essence. So people who decide to, who really care, who really are motivated, there might be a point in continue investing a little bit of in collecting the documents.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Nick. We really appreciate it. We'll hopefully
Absolutely.
we can talk again soon as we know a little bit more. I would definitely love to check in with you after the decree gets converted to law, assuming that that's going to happen, and kind of get your take on it.
I would love that. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tony. It's been a pleasure talking with you. And it's great that you are covering this topic. And good luck with everything.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Nick. Well, I hope you found that as valuable and insightful as I did. Now, if you have questions, if you want to find out more about whether or not you're eligible, you can reach out on our website, italiandual.com. We offer 20, 30, and 60-minute consultations. They're affordable, and we can help you get clear on whether or not you're eligible, map out your best path forward, and figure out exactly how to get from where you are to your goal of Italian dual citizenship by descent. And of course, stay tuned to the channel as we continue to bring you more information about the decree and other matters impacting Italian dual citizenship by descent. Thank you.